In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the takeaway, the first move of the golf swing, a real vital part of the golf swing to get correct. I'm going to be sharing with you a simple thought and a couple of really simple drills to make sure you start your golf swing correctly. Stay tuned for more info. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video, as I mentioned in the intro, is all about the takeaway move, the first vital move of the golf swing. If we can get that first part correct, it solves a lot of other issues, and it's an area I see many golfers really struggle with. So I'm going to be sharing with you a really simple thought, something you can take to the golf course, a rehearsal movement, if you like, that you can take to the golf course as a pre-swing thought. And I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of really simple drills to make sure you start that golf swing correctly. Now I'm going to be demonstrating here with a driver, but this is relevant with any golf club, so I don't care whether we're talking about second shots, third shots, pitching, chipping, full shots, whether it's irons or woods. We're talking about the same first movement away from the golf ball that we're really looking for. So I'm going to jump straight into one of the first drills, and as we do this we'll talk through some of the checkpoints I'm looking for. So I'm going to be using a tour stick with this, just something quite light. It could be a bamboo cane, but I'm going to be using one of these tour sticks, and I'm going to be putting it across my chest just above my elbows, so it's under my arms. And what I'm looking for is to keep the cane in position, and I'm trying to get the cane to start to tilt as it turns, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So one of the most common faults I see with this first takeaway move is the club working too far inside the hands. That's the club working over here and the club face getting very open. Often that happens when the arms start to disconnect away from the body and the club works inwards. Well, you could see if my arms worked out away from my body, the cane would drop. If that club is working too far around my body, you will also see that the cane is actually working almost very horizontally, and it feels like it wants to drop from under my lead armpit, lead elbow here, actually my left side. So what I'm looking for is to take the club away with my lead arm just working across my chest, so my hands are working on a slightly inward path. Now as that happens, if it starts to happen correctly, you will see that this cane is actually starting to tilt a little bit more downwards. So the cane that is the part that's closest towards the target starts pointing a little bit more downwards, and the cane that is under my trail arm is starting to point more up. So my shoulders aren't simply turning, they are actually turning on a tilted axis. So my lead arm is working across my chest, the cane is starting to point downwards, and that's a really good position. Now I want to make sure that as I do that, the pressure is gradually loading into my trail foot. So for me, my right foot here, because what I don't want to see is a tilt with connection, but all my pressure is on my lead side in that first movement. So it's gradually shifting towards my trail foot. My left arm is connected across my chest. The cane is starting to point more downwards. The club head is outside my hands, and there's some really good checkpoints, so I'll just mention them again. My lead arm is working across my chest. My pressure is moving gradually towards my trail foot. The club head is outside my hands, and if I had that cane under my arms, you would see that it's working on a bit of a tilted axis, so it's starting to move this way, which is what I really want, rather than this way where you can see my spine has straightened, I've come out of posture. So that as an exercise is fantastic. The second exercise I have done before, but I think it's a great one of the best, is a cane up the side of the golf club. Incorporate it into your grip however best you can, and that cane is going to go under your lead armpit. So it's going to go under my lead side, my left side. And I'm going to be trying to take the club away, keeping the cane running down my lead side. So it's in contact with my lead side here. If I get that movement wrong, you will see, if my arms disconnect and that club comes inside, a very common fault, that cane is pointing way out right of target for me as a right-handed golfer. So I'm looking for this movement. Now the cane is going to come away from my body, it has to. We're talking about this first movement to where the club gets to around knee height, or that first parallel position where it's staying in contact with my lead side. But as I said, if we can get off to the right start with our takeaway move, it's definitely going to help our golf swing. Now, I mentioned taking this to the golf course because it's all well and good doing the right exercise movements, but you need to be able to take that to the course. I understand that. So what I want you to incorporate is what I start to refer to as the Rickie Fowler rehearsal. So what we're looking for is, before we hit the golf ball, a little rehearsal movement of the correct position, and then go ahead and hit. So we're going to do that once or twice, and it's something Rickie Fowler's done for a long time. Now, he used to get a fault that I don't see as commonly, the hands coming in, the club being too far outside his hands. Most common, I would say, is the opposite movement to that. So you will see Rickie try and get the toe of the golf club a little bit more up in the air than perhaps I would normally teach, but it's just the opposite of his fault. Now, so what he's doing is he's setting up to the golf ball, he's ready to go, he's looked at his target, he rehearses that first movement and checks once or twice, and then pulls the trigger, hits it. What he's not doing is watching that club go back, because our spine would straighten, would come out of posture. I want to be focusing on the golf ball till I stop, and I'm just feeling that lead arm work across my chest and checking that I've got those checkpoints. My pressure is moving into my trail foot, the club is outside my hands, etc. So I'm rehearsing that first movement, and that's an easy way to take it to the golf course, is make sure the last thing you're feeling is the movement you're trying to create. Let me go ahead and hit one here. So it's not a tee I would normally hit a driver from, but I'm going to be aiming at the tall pylon in the distance. And I've got my alignment stick down here. I realise you won't have that on the course. I'd encourage you to use it in practice. So I'm going to be ready to go, and I'm going to be rehearsing that takeaway move. That felt good. I can feel those checkpoints, and then go ahead and pull the trigger. Well, I hope you can see that. It's a little bit muggy, so you may not, but it couldn't have been straighter at my pylon. I wish I could hit those all day. That is the real great way of taking that movement to the course. If it's something you struggle with, that takeaway move, and lots of golfers do, that rehearsal movement's a real simple one to start to take to the course. You won't change straight away. You'll rehearse the movement and you'll still get it wrong. But over a period of time, with doing the at-home 2 exercises, as well as the rehearsal on the golf course, you're going to start to take it to the course more gradually. It's not going to change overnight, but it's a process to start to improve that first movement. If you have enjoyed that video, make sure you hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. It's the best way to show your support for the TruGolf Academy and the videos that I do, and make sure you never miss a video again. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.